Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Judge Elma Teresa Salinas Ender is going to be helping us out today. I am going to call the docket so that you can make your announcement. The first one that I see is case number 622825, Joseph Lucas Rendon, and that's with Vanessa Garcia.
Good afternoon, Aleda.
Good afternoon. And Judge Andrew is there. You'll be addressing the judge.
Good afternoon, Judge. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
That's okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. We are ready to plea. However, I have not gone over the plea paperwork with my client yet, so I just asked to be put in a breakout room.
Okay, your client is Joseph Rendon, and I'll put him in a breakup room right now. Okay, hold on.
And I have two others on the docket as well, Aleda. I don't know if you want me to announce on those as well before I jump in.
You can, and go ahead and give the judge the page number and case number.
So I am here also on Mr. Miles Jordan. He is on page 6, second down. He has 2 cause numbers. We are set to plead today. However, I have not had.
I lost. Did she just jump out maybe?
She's there. She muted. I think it's muted.
Sorry, I got sent to the breakout room. I don't know if it was automatic.
Okay.
So Mr. Miles Jordan, I do need to go over the plea paperwork with him in person. So we are asking just for a quick reset just until next week so that we can go ahead and have that plea set.
Do you have a date for a reset for them?
Yes, would it be okay, February the 9th?
The 9th works perfectly.
February the 9th on Mr. Miles Jordan.
And will that be at 10 o'clock in the morning?
It will be at 10 a.m., Judge.
Okay.
Thank you. And then the last one I have on the docket today is Miss Serenity Williams. She is on, I'm finding her on the docket now.
That would be page 6, case number 666229.
And she is set for a plea, but I do need to be placed in a breakout room as well and to review the plea paperwork.
And she is here. Okay, I'll put her in a breakout room. And Joseph Rendon is waiting for you on breakout room 1. And when you come out, you can, I'll put you in breakout room 2.
Thank you, Aleda. And may my, Your Honor, may my client, Mr. Miles Jordan, be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll see him next week.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one on the list is Jesse Sanchez. And that would be on page 2, case number 633145.
Yes, Judge, I'm present. Good afternoon. I tried contacting him. I've talked to a grandmother, left messages for a sister, mother, talked to an aunt, and talked to the PR bond. He's never shown up to PR bond. The family doesn't know where he is.
What kind of bond is he on? Oh, a PR bond?
PR bond, yes, Judge.
What says the state?
Your Honor, Jeff King on behalf of the state, we would ask a KPS be issued.
And what's your recommendation on bond?
Held without bond until further reconsideration.
KPS will issue, his PR bond will be revoked and no bond will be set at this time.
That's fine, Judge. I've tried everything to find him. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next one on the docket is page 3 with Robert Edward Careno, case number 640963 with Ms. Sofia Martinez.
Good afternoon, Judge. I'm present. Mr. Carreno is present. He was on the screen just right now, but I wonder if he's having a problem. Our paperwork is ready for a plea, Judge, so we're ready to proceed.
We'll just go through and get the rest of the announcements and
I do have 2 other ones on the docket, Judge, just on the top of page 4, Mike Gallegos, 648969. He was dismissed yesterday, Judge, so that dismissal, I believe, has been signed. I received a copy of it, so I believe that case is now gone. And then I have one more, Judge, on page number 5. It's case number 661342, Tomas Salinas. And that paperwork is also ready for a plea, and he is on the screen also, Judge.
Okay, we'll come back to the pleas. The next one, Your Honor, is page 4. That would be 651316. State of Texas versus Joel Pollard with Mr. Robert D. Behrens.
Yes, I'm present. And Mr. Pollard is as well.
Okay,
and what is the announcement on this matter?
Judge, I was instructed to log back in because Mr. Pollard has a warrant. Not sure exactly what the warrant is for, but I guess Ms. Castillo was hoping we might be able to resolve that
it does show as a warrant. It may be some violation reports. I'm not too sure. I'm going over it right now, but I can put you in a breakout room, Mr. Behrens, and see if you can talk to the state. Maybe they can give you a little bit more information.
Yeah, I don't know if they have copies of the violation reports.
It was on the second violation. I guess bond was increased to 1,200, then bond set at 2,400 and then issued. Well, that was on 2021. He went up to a 4th violation, 6th violation,
What are the violations?
7th violation. So he's got up to 7 violations. So prepare to submit it or it will be forced to issue a warrant. Yeah, so I think it went all the way up to 9th violation, sir. So I think the best bet is to contact the clerk and they'll let you know exactly what violation caused this warrant, and then talk to the state and then come back with to confer and talk to the judge.
Well, I've conferred with the state this morning as far as the case itself goes, and I have an offer, but I would need to leave the meeting to call the clerk.
If you want to do that and then come back and the judge will still be here.
Okay. And what's the number back there? Is it 2008?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, the next one would be, okay, Kyle Ernst did not come in, so next one comes to $659,542 and $659,543. These were add-ons, and this is on the gentleman, Mr. Rudy Lamb, with the attorney Regina Scribner Tips.
Correct. I am present and so is my client. This is set for a plea. We're ready. The paperwork is completed.
Okay.
And is the paperwork getting sent to me?
It should be sent to you, Your Honor, by the state. Either Ms. Corina Sanchez or Mr. Jeff King should be sending it.
Okay, because I had only received one packet before I signed on, so I was just wondering if I haven't been checking my email since we've been on. Okay,
Your Honor, I will make sure that's sent to you. I know I sent some to your personal email address accidentally, but I will go back through and make sure I send it to your correct email,
okay,
work email.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And I do have Mr. Dylan George as well is here for a plea. Get that case number. That is on page 6, case number 666631. It is Celia Nieves with Mr. George Dylan.
Yes.
Dylan George. Okay.
Paperwork should be completed.
And I think the state can check to see if they send it to you, Judge, and to get that forward on to you. But they're ready to go on the plea.
Okay.
I have Mr. Brian O'Donnell that would like to approach on a different matter. It's not a plea.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm here with my client Alejandra Cerna. She's on the Zoom. She's on probation, Your Honor, and we filed a motion that the court would consider a travel permit so my client could go to Garden Grove, California, this Friday, the 4th of February, until February 6th. She's going with her, it's a religious retreat, and she's going with her sponsor. I asked Corey to see if he could find out probation's position. I haven't received a response yet, Judge, and I don't know how the state feels about it, but my client has been on probation and I don't see any VRs or MTRs. So we're asking that she be able to leave and come back.
What is the state's position?
Jeff King, on behalf of the state, we are unopposed to that, Your Honor.
Okay. And that was, I want to say that was already sent to me. Is that correct?
Believe so. Yes, the file was accepted, Your Honor, so that should be in the court system.
Mr. O'Donnell, may I have that case number?
Sure, it is 627436.
And it is for Alejandra Serna. I will look for it and send it to the judge if it has not been sent out for signature.
Very well.
And Your Honor, I have Ms. Megan Enriquez. She is also here on a case that is ready for a plea on 657027, the state versus Jose Silva.
That's correct, Judge. And thank you, Leda. Can I get a brief breakout room with Mr. Silva before we do the plea?
Yes. What page number is that one on?
Your Honor, that was an add-on that.
Oh,
they
okay.
indicated- Yes, that's an add-on that they wanted to do it, so we invited them. So let's see, let me put you in a breakout room, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Jose Silva as well. Okay, it'll be room 3. And Judge Behrens is back. Were you able to find out a little bit more information on this gentleman, sir?
Yes, according to the violation report, he had not enrolled in ignition interlock and had been given till the 20th of this month to enroll in the interlock. And I guess that wasn't done at the time. And then also he had missed his first screening for antabuse on January 14th, but was set up again for January 28th. So that should have been done. We'd have to ask him. He's on the meeting. But then the judge issued the warrant with a bond increase and gave him 10 days to comply, but it's rather difficult to comply if you've got a warrant. I'm not sure you can do both things with a warrant outstanding.
Could you give me that cause number again?
That would be page 4, case number
651316.
That's correct.
651316.
All right, so then the warrant was issued by which judge?
Judge Saldaña,
For violation of probationary
violation of pretrial conditions.
or pretrial.
So,
And what
but she
relief?
gave him, I'm just trying to find out if we can release get the warrant recalled. I don't, well, first of all, I think we should ask him if he did his antabuse screening on the 28th. Maybe we should establish that first.
Where is your client?
Says he was logged on as Joel Pollard. Mr. Pollard, are you here? Can you unmute? Where'd he go?
Left when you
So
did, Judge Burns.
I'm sorry?
He left when you did.
Is he still in the breakout room?
In the waiting room. Let me text him to get back on.
Yeah, no, he's not in the waiting room or breakout room.
Jeez. I guess he was confused. I don't know why he thought that was.
It's sometimes difficult if you're not familiar with Zoom, where they might exit the breakout room and not come back to the main session.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He was in the main room and I hung up so I could call the clerks, but I guess he bounced out too at the same time. So I've just texted him to get back in. But in any event, Judge, so I guess, again, we have to resolve whether he did this antabuse screening that was set up for the 28th. But beyond that, I don't even know if he owns a vehicle, but one way or another, it's going to be impossible for him to comply within 10 days if he's got an active warrant for his arrest. Except, well, I guess he can comply within 10 days if he gets booked again and gets out again.
So you're saying that he should have gone through the antabuse on the 28th?
He should have. That was his second screening. It's a medical
Tell us
screening.
that.
I'm sorry?
Who can let us know whether that happened or not?
Oh, we'd have to talk to his officer, who is apparently Courtney Nious, Nious. There's a number here for her. 335-8996. I don't have a whole lot of success getting hold of pretrial officers these days. I think most of them work from home and you have to leave a message and it gets forwarded to their phone. And
So what are you saying he has to get done in 10 days?
well, apparently he was supposed to get his medical screening done and get interlock done.
In 10 days.
Says continue with drug and alcohol testing random, no alcohol use random, and abuse and ignition interlock order with 10 days to comply. But because of the bond increase, that would be, like I said, I think it would require him to get booked, bond out again, and then comply. And I'm not sure if he's in town. I think he is.
I did an invite to this Courtney Niax to see if he comes in.
All right.
And it can let you know something. So let's see if he comes in.
And let's see if your client joins us as well.
Right.
Okay. So did we determine whether the request for Alejandra Serna was in fact sent to me?
Your Honor, as a matter of fact, that's what I was working on. I have it here. I just found it. I am logging on to the Adobe, so I can go ahead and send it to you. So let me work on that.
Because I think I did approve one, but it was for Colorado, not California. So what retreat are you going to, Ms. Serna? You're muted. Oh, there you go.
So it would be a religious retreat to the Crystal Chapel in Grove City, California. Just kind of with a group of women. But it would be just from the 4th of this month to the 6th. And I do finish my probation on the 10th. I know that I do have to fully comply. So that's why I asked for permission, but I've completed everything to now.
So is there any opposition on the part of the state?
Jeff King on behalf of the state, we have no opposition to that, Your Honor.
And from the probation officer either?
Your Honor, if I may, I sent a chat to Corey, but I don't know if he's there. So I don't, and I haven't contacted the regular probation officer. Well, here's Corey. I see him now, Your Honor.
So
Brian, I'm sorry, Judge. I'm having IT issues.
I think it's the week for IT issues. So is there any opposition for the request by Ms. Serna to travel out of state to attend a religious retreat?
No, Your Honor. I just looked it up, and she's completely compliant.
Okay. Well,
sorry if I have a raspy voice.
That's okay. I completely understand. So as soon as I get that, I will sign it, Ms. Serna. And good luck to you. And I hope you have a very rewarding and spiritual experience.
Yes, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. May I be excused and my client?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Thank you very much. Again, Your Honor. Thank you, State. Thank you, Corey.
Judge, this is Sofia Martinez. I think Mr. Jeffrey King said he had sent the paperwork to your email for Mr. Robert Careno's plea and Mr. Tomas Salinas, but I think he may have sent it to your personal email, and we're just confirming that you may have received that, Judge. So if not, he can correct that.
Well, I don't have it on my, I do not have it on my office email, and I will try to sign into my personal account. Too many windows open.
I know, judges, we did the paperwork before, and so they had sent it to Judge Saldaña, and then he had to go in and try to manipulate it, and we don't know where it might be these days.
Do you know when it was sent?
We did the plea paperwork, I believe. Mr. Tomas Salinas was a week or, I think, Jeffrey, do you know when you adjusted them to send them to the judge? Hello?
So I just sent Carino to you, Your Honor. So I shared that agreement with you. Judge Saldaña had already signed it. So everyone is signed on 640-963, but I did share that agreement with you just now. And I'm going to the other agreement that,
Mr. Tomas Salinas. Mhm.
yes, that's the one I'm trying to find now. It's just looking through the list and trying to find the
It's
number.
661342. That's why I sent an email yesterday to everybody to try to make sure that we had that corrected, so we would avoid any problems today.
Yes, I'm finding a whole bunch of them from Mr. King. Let's see if I can forward them. So were there only 5 that were sent? Oh no, I found another one. They're sandwiched in between all kinds of other.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May I be placed back in a breakout room with my other client, Mr. Joseph Rendon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So then are we done with the announcements and we're ready to proceed with please?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Rendon is still in a breakout room?
He is with his attorney.
Which one are we ready to proceed on then?
Judge, we're ready on my clients, Tomas Salinas and Mr. Robert Carreno. They're both on the screen. Six four oh 963 Robert Carreno and 661342 Tomas Salinas.
I found Carreno, but I have not found Salinas. So shall we start with Carreno?
Yes, ma'am, that would be fine.
It's not letting me access it. Maybe because it went to another, I forwarded it from the other email.
I forgot the defendant's name. Let me look at my notes. The one that we are talking about, Carreno.
Robert Carreno.
Yeah, that one I did actually share with you on your work email directly, Your Honor. I'm still trying to find another one.
No. Let me see. Okay.
Jeff, on Mr. Salinas, we had done him, actually, he was actually set for court prior to, he was set on the 19th and the judge was out. So we had the plea paperwork ready before January 19th. And then he
Okay.
was recalled for today. So that may be that's earlier in January.
Okay.
The issue is that there's a different email address for Judge Ender because the original plea paperwork was sent to Judge Saldaña. So we have to replace the signer with Judge Ender's email. And so that's where the paperwork is going to go. So Judge, if you forward it from a different email address, you're not going to be able to sign it because the email that's listed for the signer is your work email.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I found the paperwork for Tomas Salinas. So I'm going to share that I did have to make an amendment of the defendant's right to appeal. So I have that one. So that's going to be one document, as well as the plea paperwork because that's a supplement.
So then are we ready to proceed with Robert Edward Carreno?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Carreno, you need to be on the screen.
And the plea bargain is that he will plead to the DWI, no contest.
For Mr. Carino, yes, we're going to waive the enhancement. No contest. You want me to go ahead and tell you the entire agreement now, or?
No, we can wait. Let me see. I'm sorry, it's too many screens. Where's Mr. Carreno? Okay, Mr. Carreno, good afternoon. You're muted. Can you unmute?
Mr. Carreno, unmute yourself by tapping your little microphone. Oh, gosh.
Can you hear us? I think there's a prompt you can press. Oh, he left. Well,
No, he's there, Judge. I don't know if he,
Mr. Carreno, are you unmuted?
It doesn't look like he's got the audio connected.
Mr. Carreno's on the screen. Can you hear us,
yes,
Mr. Carreno?
yes, I hear you. I know. Sorry, it just keeps jumping me off and on.
Okay.
Are you, he appears to be frozen,
I hear you.
but we can't, we can't really see you.
You can. I can't see you. I don't have the video off. It says share contact.
Are you freezing on the screen? There it
No,
is.
I'm not
It
freezing.
moves, Judge. He can move. There it is.
Where did he go?
I don't know, one of those days.
Yeah, yes, I'm here. Just jump me off again. I'm sorry. No, I can't hear them.
I can hear you, Mr. Carreno. There's just that the judge needs to see your face, so you're gonna have to be on the screen for us to proceed.
I came outside just in case I was in a bad reception, but I guess I still am, even though I'm outside still.
Just need to get your camera on, please.
Alita, can I just want to update the court that I've texted him a few times and tried calling, and it went to his voicemail, Mr. Pollard. So I don't know what else to do as of right now. I don't know if his phone died or.
And Your Honor, Ms. Cassandra Montemayor, pretrial officer, is here. I don't know if she wants to give some information to Mr.
Now,
Barron.
Okay, so we're now talking again about who?
Joel Pollard, 651-316.
And you lost him when you went into the.
No, we didn't. We never went into a breakout room, Judge. I got off the meeting so that I could try, so I could call the clerks in the back. And then when I got back on the meeting, he was not with us. But we had never been sent to a breakout room.
Okay. And is this Mr. Pollard the one that has a warrant out?
Yes.
And we were going to hear back from his probation officer?
I think we were going to ask for pretrial services if they had any more information for us, but than what we already knew, which was his bond was increased to $3,000 and he was given 10 days to comply with ignition interlock and the N-abuse screening. I think we were going to ask if he had done the N-abuse screening on the 28th.
Okay, and where is it, Ms. Montemayor? Is this his pretrial officer?
Yes, Judge, I'm not his pretrial officer. However, I am filling in for his officer right now.
Okay. Can you enlighten us? I think that there were 9 violations and Judge Saldaña signed a warrant.
I'm sorry, Judge, I did not hear the last part.
Did Judge Saldaña sign a warrant based on the fact that there were 9 violations? We need a little more information about the violations.
Yes, so I received a response from Judge Saldaña to bond increase, issue a warrant of arrest, and to continue with the drug alcohol testing random, no alcohol use random, and abuse and ignition interlock order with 10 days to comply. And the violation was submitted due to non-enrollment with the ignition interlock order.
Well, the violation report also mentioned the failure to go to the N-abuse screening, but it said there was a second one set up for the 28th of January. Do we know if he attended that one?
I am looking in his notes right now. I do not see anything about his officer following up with an abuse for his appointment on the 28th. However, I can call them or email them as well and see if they can go ahead and respond and give me that confirmation.
Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what all he needs to do. He's still, he's got a warrant there. I don't know what we're gonna do about it. He can't comply until he resolves his warrant, so
Where is he working?
that I don't know, Judge. Well, pretrial may know.
I don't see any notes here, Judge, and I mean, I'm filling in for his officer. What I can do is speak with his officer when he gets back and see if he does have any information on that.
When he gets back today, or?
I honestly do not know, Judge, when he's going to be coming back.
He is not in the office today, is what you're saying, because you said when he
Yes.
gets back. I'm just.
Yeah, so we're currently working from home. He is out of the office today, but I'll go ahead and staff it with him.
So, Mr. Barron, how do you pronounce your last name?
Barons.
Barons. I guess what you were trying to do is to see if you could get some relief on the warrant, but we don't have enough information. Judge Saldaña signed this. I don't know, the state's position is on this.
Well, like I said, if we go ahead, Mr. King.
If I may, Your Honor, I think the state's position, we don't have a clear indication of exactly what those violations are. Pretrial has not contacted us regarding that. And I mean, I hate to leave a warrant open for him, but I think that might be the best thing right now, at least until we get it resolved, because obviously Judge Saldaña thought there was some kind of issue that needs to be rectified, and the state's kind of unsure exactly what that is, as well as defense counsel.
Well, I'm not confused or not understanding at all anything what's happening. I know exactly what's happening. He didn't comply with ignition interlock. He was supposed to have gone to an anti-abuse medical screening. He didn't go to, but was rescheduled for the 28th. The judge on January 24th issued a bond increase to $3,000 and gave him 10 days to comply. So that's that. That's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. But the point is, we can leave the warrant the way it is, and he's going to get picked up if he tries to comply, or we can do something about maybe extending the compliance, because here we are, that was the 24th, it's nearly 10 days already.
Well, we'd be unopposed. We would be opposed to extending it at this time. He's violated numerous times, even from what you said and what it appears. So if he tries to rectify it, then he will be picked up, in which case we can fix it then.
Then, yeah, well, like I said, so then he's going to have to get arrested first before he can comply. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work.
So elaborate.
It's impossible to comply if you have a warrant for your arrest. You can't comply.
Mr. Barron, elaborate for me how he's going to get picked up if he tries to comply.
Because they'll know he has a warrant.
Oh, because if he shows up to.
Well, I mean, I can't guarantee that, Judge, but I have had clients in the past who show up to a provider and they either won't do it for them, or they, the person ends up the cops end up showing up and he gets arrested. So, but that's really neither here nor there. If you want to leave the warrant open and wait for him to get arrested and he bonds out again, and then I'm assuming then the 10 days will restart. But as of now, since January 24th, it's really been 10 days.
And he was on, but he left, and you've not been able to reach him. Is that correct?
Yeah, his phone went, I texted him and his phone went right to voicemail when I called him. So I'm wondering whether his battery died. I'm not sure, but I haven't gotten a response to 3 texts that I sent between 3:04 and 3:07. And I did call him as well, but like I said, it went immediately voicemail.
And we have no idea where he's working, Ms. Montemayor.
No, Judge.
There's no indication he is working?
The last notes I have here are that he was not employed. But I did reach out to his officer to see if he'll go ahead and respond if he does have any notes regarding Mr. Pollard's employment.
Okay. Well, Mr. Pollard, Mr. Barron's, At this
Yes.
point, your client didn't stay on. We weren't able to talk to him. We don't know the circumstances.
Right.
So I'm not willing to recall the warrant at this time. If you get any more information, or if your client has the patience to stay on, then we might consider it. But we need a little more information to go ahead and overrule, the decision that Saldaña made.
Well, if I hear from him today, we'll get back on. We'll try to get back on. I'm not sure if he'll be there, but like I said, the way things are
Long
acting,
afternoon.
yeah. Well, with his phone going immediately to voicemail, I mean, it didn't even ring. That's usually an indication that the person's phone's not on. So I'm just wondering whether his phone just cut out. Any event, that's fine, Judge. I'll let the court know if I get a hold of him.
All right, thank you.
All right, may I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, may I be excused as well?
Yes, thank you. So Mr. Carreno, get over his problems with conductivity.
I see his name on there, Judge, but I don't know. I advised him if he couldn't get out and try to get back in, or to go to the courtroom, and we could proceed with the other plea of my client, Mr. Salinas, and wait for him to appear in the courtroom. But if he has problems today, Judge, we may just have to recall him for another day.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening with
So
him.
then you want to proceed with Mr. Salinas?
Yes, Judge, he is prepared and ready and on the screen.
And you should have received a copy of that paperwork, Your Honor. I did go back in and send it to your work email as well.
I found that.
And Judge, I do believe Mr. Carreno signed in separately there, and I see him outside, and it looks like he's present also. Mr. Carreno, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
So he's finally been able to get
Yes,
himself
I'm
connected.
sorry about that.
No problem. Thank you. Just stay there.
For some reason, though, I cannot get the document to expand. It's very small. I can't read the document on Mr. Salinas because it's very small. It's like a very small picture of the document.
And you can't do the plus sign or the enlarge it?
I've tried. I've tried to fit the page and the little plus sign at the bottom. It's very strange. And this is the one that was sent to me directly.
I mean, whenever I opened it, because I had opened it to share it with you, it came up normal. So I'm not sure what the issue would be.
I don't know. I tried it again and it's just really very small. Now, Mr. Carreno's is full size, so that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right, because we use the same one.
Oh, here's another one on Mr. Salinas. Let me try this one. There's 2 emails from you. Oh, this one blows up to the right size.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Salinas. Mr. Salinas, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, you can put your hand down. All right, have you had an opportunity to speak with your attorney?
I have, yes.
What is your attorney's name?
Sophia.
Pardon me?
I'm sorry?
What is your attorney's name?
Sophia Martinez.
Okay, so you were able to speak with her several times about the facts and circumstances surrounding the charge?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I couldn't hear you. All right.
I don't know. I'm unmuted. I don't know.
Am I the only one having problems with hearing him? He seems to come in and out.
No,
I
Your
can't
Honor.
hear him, Mayor.
Maybe if he gets closer to his device, you might be able to hear him better.
Yeah, is this better? I don't...
Perfect. So your full name is Tomas Manuel Salinas?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have an opportunity to go over all the documents that you signed with your attorney?
I did. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
All right. Did you know that you were signing away some of the rights that you have by law?
Yes. I was pleading no contest.
Did you also go over all of the facts and circumstances and any possible way to defend against the charges with your attorney?
Yes.
And after all that, you decided you wanted to accept the plea bargain that was being offered to you by the state of Texas?
Yes.
And you signed several documents. You went over them and you
Yes.
I'm sorry. I opened a file and it only has one page.
Those an amendment. I found the other document. I'm downloading the PDF right now as we speak, and then I'm going to email you the
Okay.
one that it was not correctly sized, and plus I made an error on it before.
Okay.
So I'm going to send you an email right now.
Okay.
Okay, file, show folder, inbox, email. Salinas. Salinas, okay. So I just sent that email. So you should be getting that in a second, Your Honor.
If the technology gods cooperate.
Fingers crossed. And I'm relatively new to the Adobe sign, so that's why I made a mistake on that one page, Your Honor. So instead of redoing the entire packet, I just redid the one page.
Well, I think you all have a very good system in San Antonio. It's very, very user friendly.
Once you get the hang of it, which I'm getting a little bit better.
It's funny how sometimes they arrive quickly and sometimes they don't.
It's usually when you're sitting there waiting for it with anxiety that they take super, super long.
There it is. Okay. All right. So the first document you signed, Mr. Salinas, was the defendant's consent to plea by video conference.
Yes.
So in that document, you're telling me that you wish to enter a plea of either guilty or nolo contendere in open court, and you give consent to the use of the video conference for your plea proceeding?
Yes.
Okay. And the second document you signed was your waiver of constitutional rights and court's admonitions. So you're basically indicating that you understand you're charged with offense of DWI first, and that carries a range of punishment of $0 to $2,000 fine and up to 72 hours or 180 days in jail, and that you are entering a plea of no contest. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. That is correct.
And you understand that although you're entering a plea of no contest, basically the court almost considers that as a guilty plea. So because you're not contesting it, you are giving up your right to a trial by a jury. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand I'm going to hear the case instead.
Okay, yes.
And you were giving up your right to have your attorney cross-examine the witnesses. Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's not going to be a jury that will listen to the witnesses, and nobody's going to question these witnesses. And that's what you want to do.
Correct.
You're giving up your right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, you're saying that you're pleading no contest, but basically you're not contesting any of the allegations. So you're giving up your right to remain silent. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
You are making an assertion that you're mentally competent so that you understand what you're doing. You've not been coerced or threatened, and you're pleading freely and voluntarily. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
And basically indicated that you have had an opportunity to speak with your attorney, considered all the aspects of your legal situation, and decided that you were going to plead because you believe it's in your own interest. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you understand that although there's a recommendation from the prosecuting attorney, that I don't have to accept it. Knowing that, do you still wish to go forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Miss, is it Miss or Mrs. Saldaña? Your attorney is Miss Saldaña?
Sofia Martinez, Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I just read?
Maybe the judge?
Okay.
Saldaña?
All right. So you've had an opportunity to speak with your client. Do you feel he understands the nature of the proceedings, knowingly waived his rights, and wishes to go forward?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want the information read?
No, Your Honor, we waive the reading of the information.
Okay. So to the charge of DWI first, how do you plead?
No contest.
And you understand that the range of punishment for that particular offense is confinement in the county jail. I lost the document again. For a period of up to 72 hours to 180 days, and a $0 to $2,000 fine can be imposed.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that full range of punishment, do you still wish to plead?
Yes.
Okay. What is the plea bargain?
Jeff King on behalf of the state, Your Honor. The plea agreement is 12 months of deferred adjudication, a $400 fine, court cost, DWI education, victim impact panel, a TAP evaluation, ignition interlock for 1/2 the term, 35 hours of community service, dope, $60 restitution to Texas Department of Public Safety.
Is that the recommendation as you understand it, Mr. Salinas?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Martinez?
Yes, Judge, and I would like to address the court on a couple of items.
All right.
Judge, Mr. Tomas Salinas has completed the DWI education course and the victim impact panel class. We submitted proof of those certificates to the state, and I'm not sure, I believe we may have attached them to the plea, Judge, but if not, he has those copies to provide to probation. So I'm asking the court to give him credit for those classes as they were recommended to be part of his plea, and he has completed that. And Mr. Salinas would also like the opportunity to buy out his community service hours in lieu of performing them. He works for JP Morgan Chase, Judge, as a business manager doing phone work. And so he's requesting, his hours vary, and he's requesting permission to buy those hours out.
All right. Are you vaccinated, Mr. Salinas?
I am, yes.
Are you boosted?
I'm actually scheduled for that next week.
Okay, what is the buyout rate that Judge Saldaña usually imposes for these community service hours?
If I may ask either Aleda, Ms. Castillo, or Ms. Sanchez, because as I said, I'm relatively new, so they might have a better idea than I do. I'm sorry.
Are you talking about the, are you talking about the?
Yeah, she normally does it at $7.25 an hour at the food bank.
Can you restate that?
Did you say $7.25?
Yes, ma'am, at the food bank.
Oh, so the check is made out to the food bank?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So if there's nothing further on the guilt or innocence?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So we will grant the 12 months deferred. You understand that, Mr. Salinas, there's kind of a double-edged sword there. I mean, it's great if you comply with probation and you get off, and then you can go ahead and clean up your record if you complete their probation successfully. However, if you don't, then you're back to kind of square one.
I understand.
Okay, so it's all on you. All right, so we will approve the plea, impose a $400 fine, then court costs, and all of the services that were recommended. 34 hours of community service was the number that I heard. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And since you are vaccinated, I'll give you 8 hours credit for your first vaccination. If you have the second vaccination, I'll give you another 8 hours. And if you get boosted, you'll get another 8 hours. So it's a total of 24 hours. And then you can buy out the rest of your community service time at the rate of $7.25 and with a check made out to the food bank. And I'm sure you can get all that information from your probation officer.
Definitely, yes.
All right. Well, good luck to you, sir. Is there anything else that we need to do on this matter?
Judge, we did give him credit for the classes, the DWI education and the victim impact panel, since they were completed.
As long as he provides that information to the probation officer, the certificates or whatever it is to prove that he's done it, he will get credit for that.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Your Honor, does he need to go to a breakout room with the probation officer?
To complete all the documentation?
I believe so. I think he needs to get orientation from the probation officer.
So where do we send him?
I'll send him in a breakout room, Your Honor, and I'll put also the CLO as well in there.
Is that Mr. Richardson?
That's correct.
Yes.
Is that where he's disappearing? Okay. All right. So Mr. Salinas, you can get all your paperwork signed and go through that brief orientation.
Okay.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Ms. Martinez, do we have one more?
Yes,
with you?
ma'am. We have Mr. Robert Careno. And it looks like he's alive and well on the screen.
Mr. Careno, is your internet cooperating with you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me locate your paperwork. I thought I had it. Okay, I do. So you're Robert Edward Careno.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Careno, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and about the documents you signed. Let's start with swearing you in. Raise your right hand. Is that your right hand? Okay, or we reverse them. Okay, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, Mr. Careno, how old are you?
29.
Up to what grade did you get in school?
I graduated.
Oh, where'd you graduate from?
Navarro Academy.
Oh. All right, and are you working now?
Yes, I just got a job.
Where are you
for the-
working?
Huh?
Where are you working, sir?
Bill Miller's.
Oh,
He starts a job tomorrow, Judge. He was laid off from his prior job due to COVID. And he had an interview yesterday and got hired. So I believe tomorrow or the next day, he's going to start as a grill cook at Bill Miller's.
yeah, Bill Miller's is really based in San Antonio, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor. The
Oh.
family's here and they've been around for a while.
Yeah, great barbecue. Well, good. All right, so Mr. Miller, Mr. Miller, Mr. Careno, did you go over all the documents with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so do you have any questions about the documents?
No, ma'am.
All right. Let me see. You're consenting to have the plea taken by video conference, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you're charged with a DWI first, that carries a range of punishment of a fine and from $0 to $2,000 and up to, well, starting at 72 hours to 180 hours in the Bexar County Jail. You understand you have a right to a trial by jury by signing all these documents. Even though you're saying no contest, they're basically, you're giving up your right to remain silent, your right to a jury trial, your right to cross-examine the witnesses. So you're giving up all the rights and basically conceding that you are agreeing to be charged. Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
You are saying you're mentally competent. Have there ever been any questions about your sanity?
No.
So you understand what you're doing?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your wish to go forward and plead.
Yes.
And you've gone over the facts and circumstances in this case and discussed with your attorney any possible way to defend against the charges, and you've decided you want to go forward.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that it's a recommendation to the court. It's not binding. I don't have to accept it, knowing that you still wish to go forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Is this, what are the circumstances for this, or what's the plea bargain?
Jeff King on behalf of the state, Your Honor. We are waiving the enhancement. We are asking for 12 months of deferred adjudication, a $600 fine plus court costs, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, ATP evaluation, ignition interlock for 1/2 the term, $60 restitution to Texas DPS, and given his financial difficulties, we're not imposed and would request that he be able to make payments of the costs and fine through the course of his deferred adjudication.
All right, so how do you plead to the charge of DWI first?
No
Mr.
contact.
No contest, all right. You understand that basically I kind of view that as almost an admission. So are you freely and voluntarily entering your plea?
Yes.
Nobody's forced you or coerced you in any way?
No, ma'am.
Nobody's promised you anything?
No, ma'am.
And you freely given up your right to a trial by jury?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand I'll hear the case instead?
Yes, ma'am.
And you realize you have no right of appeal from a plea bargain case?
Yes.
And knowing all that, you wish to go forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court is going to approve the plea bargain agreement, place you on 12 months deferred, $600 fine, and court costs. We will put you on a payment plan that you work out with your probation officer. All the conditions, special conditions that were recited by the assistant district attorney will be ordered. You have 48 hours of community service. Are you vaccinated, sir?
Yes. The only thing I haven't got is my booster shot. I have my first one.
All right. So again, 8 hours of credit for the first vaccine, 8 hours credit for the second, and 8 hours credit for the booster. And are you requesting to buy out your time, your community service, or do you want to serve it? Is it all?
Judge, can I address the court on a couple of issues for him first, Judge? Since he's been unemployed because he was laid off, I did mention to the district attorney's office that I was going to request that the judge probate some amount of his fine, because of the fact that he's just going to start work tomorrow, and he's going to be behind. He's got to pay for an ignition interlock and classes and supervisory fees and court costs. So I was requesting that the court probate an amount of fine to allow him to not get behind, even though they automatically set up everything on a payment plan. The second thing I wanted to address with the court judge is at the time of the incident of this DWI, he was in a vehicle that didn't belong to him. He does not own a vehicle. He takes the bus to go to work or he walks. So in lieu of an ignition interlock for a vehicle, we request a Smart Start mobile device because he doesn't have a vehicle to install that in.
We are unopposed to the Smart Start. I think given the payment plan, he can work out an arrangement with probation in order to pay later. He did get a job, and I understand it'll take some time for money to accrue and for him to be able to pay a lot of that. But again, I think he could work that out with the probation officer and be able to satisfy that fine by the end of his deferred adjudication, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, Judge, he has fines, court costs, classes, ignition interlock, and supervisory fees to pay, and that's why I was requesting that, Judge.
All right, well, that request can also be made later. Let's see how he does. They'll set him up on a payment plan, and we will approve the Smart Start. And Mr. Carreno, you understand that deferred has kind of a bite to it. If you don't complete it successfully, then you can actually get a motion filed wherein you actually do get a conviction if the court decides to grant that. So you need to be very cognizant of the fact that you need to comply with all these conditions so that you can complete the deferred adjudication successfully. And then if you do complete it successfully, then you can file, to get that record removed. So it is a wonderful thing that you can get through and not have a record.
Okay.
So take it very seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if you do find yourself in a situation, then you can talk to your probation officer about, seeing if those payments can get smaller.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're gonna be put in a breakout room with
Okay.
your probation officer so you can get everything signed and a brief orientation.
Okay.
Judge,
Okay,
I'd like to be placed in that room with him as well, please.
all right, that's fine.
Thank you. May we be excused from there, Judge?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you.
Likewise.
Your Honor,
Yes.
this is Attorney Vanessa Garcia. I believe both my clients have signed the paperwork and we're ready for plea whenever the court is ready.
All right, I need to take a brief 5-minute recess. So if you will just hold tight for 5 minutes, I will be right back.
Thank you.
Aleida, this is Sophie Martinez. Are you on the screen?
I am, ma'am.
Corey never came into the breakout room, so I think my client and I came back. Earlier, he had told me he was having IT problems, so I emailed him the information for both of the clients, but I didn't know what to do, if we need to stay in there or we just leave, because nobody ever showed up in there.
Okay, let me call him. He might have stepped out to another Zoom. Let me see.
But he private chatted me saying he was having a lot of trouble with his internet and asking me to email him the information for the clients, but I don't know what happened. He got it.
Okay, do you have Mr. Richardson information?
I already emailed him.
Okay, well, good. Then if that's the case and he requested that from you, then I'm sure you are free to log off and just, he's got your number in case he needs to get a hold of you or the clients, he'll get a hold of you. And
Yeah, I provided him the client's emails, address, and phone number.
okay, that's probably what the issue is, maybe the his internet.
Yeah, he said his chat to me said, I'm having major IT issues. Here's my email. And so I don't know what's going on, but all right, Aleida, thank you so much. And Mr. Carreno and I will be excused then. Take care.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too. Mr. Carreno, you could leave now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, where were we?
Your Honor, I believe we're ready on Joseph Rendon and Miss Serenity Williams.
Same, is that the same defense attorney on this?
Yes.
Judge, this is Regina Scrivener Tibbs on Vu Lam. He was listening to one of the pleas earlier. He is Vietnamese speaking, and he would like to schedule it for in the morning so that he can have an interpreter present. He just doesn't feel comfortable with some of the larger words being used. And so we wanted to see if we could just get on the docket for tomorrow.
The docket for tomorrow, correct me if I'm wrong, unless there's another judge, I'm scheduled for in the afternoon. I am filling in for Judge Saldaña next week in the morning. Aleida, right now I don't have that information in front of me, but I believe it's Monday through Thursday of next week.
That's correct, Your Honor. Tomorrow we are having court in the morning, but that's just for resets and to confer with the state. And if they do need to have a plea, it'll be in the afternoon. If he wishes to come in the afternoon tomorrow or next week in the morning.
He needs a morning time if possible.
Where do you get your, what language does he speak?
Vietnamese.
And well, there's several dialects of that as well. So is that through the Office of Court Administration?
We can go, I'm
If
sorry.
he's gonna go through the Bexar County, it takes some time, but if he's got his own interpreter, then it can be, I guess, any morning that Judge Salinas is available to us.
The Office of Court Administration does have a service, and it does take a little bit of time, and they will come in and they will interpret. The only reason I remember having a case with some defendants that were, I guess, out of Houston, and they came into Webb County, and there is some difficulty identifying sometimes the correct dialect that's spoken in, so that might be something you could call the Office of Court Administration and verify with your client what dialect he speaks, and then And then I'm sure that we could arrange for the Office of Court Administration to make itself available. And my experience with their interpreters has been wonderful. Or there may be someone that understands that dialect that's employed by Bexar County.
In Your Honor, if I may, we would actually ask that whatever interpreter, they actually should be, be swear to give accurate translation and things like that, because later on, if he says, well, I didn't understand my friend who translated, that could be adverse to the state. So we would ask that whatever interpreter is going to be on the record, that's going to take the oath and preferably be approved by the court, just because we don't want problems later on.
Oh, I was assuming that perhaps Bexar County had that availability since it's such a large community. We had difficulty way back when in Webb County, and I mean, we're talking probably 20 years ago, finding somebody, and they came from Houston and they were, certified. But what I'm saying is the Office of Court Administration in Austin has a huge arsenal of interpreters in all different languages and dialects. And so if San Antonio is not able to supply that, and I would be very surprised that there's not somebody on their list, but if they're not able to do that, the Office of Court Administration is a great resource, and they will do that. And it just takes a little bit of setting up, because you've got to get notice and all of that.
Oh, I'm sure you're. I was just saying, I wanted to be clear with defense counsel that, state would feel very uncomfortable unless we went that route that you're talking about, to find like an official interpreter or someone that could take an oath. That's all I was saying, Your Honor.
Well, I don't think Ms. Tibbs had suggested anybody other than an official court interpreter.
Okay, I just made a misunderstanding.
Yeah, and we have done cases before with other people in the Vietnamese community, but it was on the civil side and it was prior to COVID. So, and even with that, it took a while to get an interpreter. So what I would like to do, we are on the docket for March 9th, but I can contact them and see if we could get someone, an official translator, and but just try to have it set for in the mornings is what I wanted to do. And then I had another issue, Judge, if you may. We had submitted a petition for an occupational license that we sent over to the court, and I was wondering, could the court sign off on that in the interim?
And the state's unopposed to that, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. I'm not sure that has reached my email. Has it been sent over?
I sent it to.
She sent it to me, and I think I was fixing to click when a lot of emails came in, so it got buried in there, but I will look for it and send it right away. I know that I saw it, but if I didn't send it to you, Your Honor, it's going to be on its way today.
Okay, all right.
And we'll set up another time with an interpreter. So may we be excused, Judge, for today?
Yes. Do you have a reset date? Did you say March 9th?
It's March the 9th, but the court coordinator said that we could schedule time anytime before then to take the plea. But after seeing a couple of pleas, he said he would rather have an interpreter. So I'll take that extra step to get that done.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so which is the next one?
Joseph Rendon, Your Honor.
Joseph Lucas Rendon.
Yes.
Okay, so his full and complete name isn't listed on the discovery acknowledgement. I don't suppose that's that's all I've got on that one. Let me see if there's more documents. Yes.
For this plea, Judge, there should be 3 total documents. One, the discovery acknowledgement, the next one, the County Court 9 plea agreement, and then an obstruction of a highway paperwork as well.
There's a motion to amend the information.
Yes, Judge, that's part of the obstruction plea paperwork.
So are you dropping that charge?
Yes, Judge, the state will amend and alter the information.
So you're only proceeding on count 1?
I am amending and altering the information to add an additional count of an obstruction of a highway, waiving, abandoning count 1 and just proceeding on an obstruction.
There's no objection? There's a signature by Mr. Rendon and his attorney. So the plea is to only address count 2.
Yes, ma'am, obstruction of a highway.
And he's going to plead guilty to that.
Yes, Your Honor.
The plea bargain states that there's a recommendation for 10 months community supervision and an application for deferred adjudication.
Yes.
$700 fine. DWI impact panel. Treatment to alternatives to incarceration, ignition, interlock. It's a lot easier to take a plea in person. All right, Mr. Rendon, is your full and complete name Joseph Lucas Rendon?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rendon, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and about the documents you signed, and then we're going to take your plea. Do you have any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
How old are you, sir?
20.
Up to what grade did you get in school?
I completed high school and I'm now at A&M University.
Really? What are you studying?
I'm majoring in biomedical science.
Oh, how exciting. What do you plan to do with that?
I hope to be a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Wow, that is so impressive. Do they have a medical school there?
So they do have a nursing school and a medical school. They just don't offer a medical major. They do everything through their pre-veterinary route, but they do have a nursing and a medical school.
Well, that is very impressive. Are you originally from San Antonio?
I was born in Lake Jackson and moved to San Antonio as a kid.
Lake Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's a lovely community.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have to ask, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You read all the documents you signed?
Yes, ma'am.
You went over them with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
He did a great job for you?
Amazing.
No complaints.
No, ma'am.
So you understand that by signing these documents, you're giving up many rights that you have by law.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So you have a right to a trial by jury and you're giving up that trial. I'm going to hear the case instead. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. You have the right not to incriminate yourself, and yet you have signed these documents indicating that you intend to plead. Is it guilty or no contest?
I believe guilty.
Your Honor, on the record, we'd ask to amend that to a guilty plea. I did click the incorrect one and put no contest.
Who said that? I'm sorry, I was looking at the documents. I didn't see who said that.
His attorney, Vanessa Garcia, Your Honor.
Oh, actually, I think the document says guilty. Not, where does it say no contest?
I apologize, Your Honor. I thought that's what you were reading from the documents.
No, I was just wanting to clarify that he is going to plead guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But he's going to ask, but you're going to ask for deferred adjudication. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So you're giving up your right to confront witnesses in open court. You're never going to see them. Your attorney's never going to have an opportunity to cross-examine them. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So is it your wish to go forward and plead guilty to the second, is the second count, correct? That he's
Yes,
going
ma'am.
to be guilty to of obstructing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking.
Oh. I apologize.
That's okay. I'm asking the assistant district attorney. That's what they're pleading guilty. Correct?
I'm sorry, Judge, what was that? I think my internet's cutting out.
Okay, so he's not going to plead to the DWI count 1. He's pleading guilty to the count 2 obstruction of a highway.
Yes, Your Honor, the state is moving to amend and alter the information to add an obstruction of a highway count, waiving and abandoning count number 1 and proceeding on count 2.
And how do you plead to count 2 obstruction of a highway?
I plead guilty.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody threatened you or forced you or coerced you in any way to enter your plea?
No, ma'am.
So you're freely and voluntarily entering your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So the recommendation is deferred adjudication for a period of 10 months?
Yes, Judge, the recommendation is a $700 fine. The state has agreed to probate $350 of that fine with court costs. 10 months deferred adjudication, the DWI education course, the victim impact panel, a TAP evaluation, ignition interlock for 6 months, a driver safety course, a live at 25, $60 reimbursement to Texas DPS, and 60 hours of community service.
All right. We will approve the recommendation, place you on probation for a period of 10 months, deferred adjudication, $700 fine probated, and approve all of the recommendations for all the programs that were just recited that are in the plea bargain document.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I apologize. For the interlock, for the half term, we would request from the court to waive that condition. He is traveling back and forth. Like he just stated, he is trying to, go into the medical field. So the interlock would add additional conditions to him that will be detrimental to his education because he does need to travel. He does need to have access to move about. And so we'd ask, I know that the Honorable Judge Saldaña does also waive that condition when it is their first offense. So this is his first offense. He is a young offender. He doesn't have an extensive criminal history. So we'd ask that that interlock be waived. And we'd also ask if he provides proof of a COVID vaccination to allow credit of 24 hours of community service.
Well, I was going there before you started. So for, are you vaccinated?
Yes, ma'am. First and second round.
Okay. For the first one, you get 8 hours credit. For the second one, 8 hours. For your booster, you would get another 8. So you would have a total of 24 hours. Is there any opposition from the state with regards to waiving the interlock system?
Your Honor, the state would defer to your judgment. However, we did waive the enhancement of a DWI down to an obstruction. The length of time is only 10 months deferred adjudication. The state would request that if the defendant is going to be driving a vehicle, that vehicle have ignition interlock placed on it for 6 months, which is what the agreement consisted of. If the defendant is not going to be driving, the state would require the defendant to fill out an affidavit of non-driving and have a portable alcohol monitoring device instead. However, the state will defer to your judgment.
All right, we're going to go ahead and deny that request at this time. Let's see how he does on probation. And you can always, again, renew that request and have Judge Saldaña consider maybe cutting down some of the period of the time of his use. So if you are driving a vehicle, it will need to be on that vehicle. If you are not driving a vehicle, then you fill out the affidavit. Again, I want to be very clear about the deferred adjudication. It's a wonderful opportunity to clean up your record if you complete it successfully, but if you don't, then it could come back and bite you, and they could come back and try to adjudicate you, and you do not want that. So if you complete it successfully, then you have the opportunity to go forward and then clean up the arrest record. So it's very, very important that you that you take the probation very seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, and just one last thing. My client has went ahead and completed ahead of time the DWI education course and the victim impact panel. And we'd ask that that be considered if he provides a probation with the certificates of completion so that he doesn't have to retake the classes again.
Absolutely. If they've been taken, they can provide proof and they will be considered and accepted.
Thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate it.
Anything else? So is he going to be placed in a breakout room with the probation officer?
Your Honor, Mr. Richardson, he was filling, so I will be in the email address so she can contact him and see if he can meet up with the client.
Okay.
And it could be at any day that we're together. Maybe tomorrow, we can always put him in a breakout room, okay?
All right. So, Mr. Rendon, did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If I understand correctly, he wasn't feeling well. So tomorrow there'll be court again and you can actually meet with him either in the morning or I guess in the afternoon. So,
Yes. And how
right.
would I go about setting that time to meet? I do have one class in the morning and work in the afternoon.
Ms. Castillo, do we have a number where he could call and find out?
Yes, he can call 25200. As soon as he gets off his class, he can always call and get the Zoom link and just come on in.
Leda, you broke out there. Can you restate the number?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, it is 210-335-2008. And that would be the clerks. They will give him a Zoom link and he can pop in anytime. Okay. Did you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Rendon. I hope you accomplish everything that you're setting out to do.
Thank you, Judge. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you. Am I okay to log off?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we still have more?
Yes, I have one more, Your Honor, and that's Miss Serenity Williams.
Do we know what page that one is on?
What was it?
Oh, I found it. Okay, 666-229. on page 6. It's pronounced Serenity.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I try not to get it wrong, but I often do. Okay, so all right, can you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and about the document you signed, and then I'll take your plea. If you have any questions anytime, let me know. If you want to stop and speak to your attorney, will you let me know?
Okay.
How old are you?
20.
Up to what grade did you get in school?
12 and some college.
Oh, really? Where'd you go to college?
I'm still enrolled in SAC.
Oh, okay. What are you studying?
Child psychology.
Ooh, wow. A lot of demand for that field.
Yes.
So now there's a lot of campuses. Which campus are you on?
The one downtown.
Oh, that's a brand new, pretty one. Okay. All right. So did you read all the documents?
Yes, ma'am.
And you went over them with your attorney before you signed them?
Yes, ma'am.
You talked to her about any possible way to defend against the charges?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You think she did a good job for you?
Yes.
No complaints?
No.
Okay. All right. And you've spoken with your client. You feel she understands all the nature of the proceedings and knowingly waived her rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Let me pull up the documents. Let's see. So you are agreeing to have us take your plea by video conference. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've waived many of your rights. The plea is to enter a plea of no contest to a Class B misdemeanor obstruction of a highway.
Your Honor, on the record, I did enter that in error. It should be a guilty plea, and we'd ask that that be amended for the record.
Okay. I'm not sure who would amend that. We'll get that fixed.
Your Honor, I believe that if it's not objected, I'm sorry, Karina, go ahead.
As long as it's on the record, Judge, we should be fine.
Okay. And you understand that this is a plea bargain case, so you have no right of appeal. You're giving up your right to complain later about what happened here. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
So to the Class B misdemeanor of obstruction of a highway, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Pardon me?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody threatened you or forced you or coerced you in any way to plead guilty?
No.
You understand that you're giving up your right to a trial by jury, and basically giving up your right to confront witnesses in open court and the right to remain silent and require the state to prove up the case against you. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you freely, voluntarily entering your plea of guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that this Class B carries a range of punishment of $0 to $2,000. And up to 180 days in jail. Knowing that full range of punishment, understanding I don't have to accept the plea bargain, do you still wish to enter your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you freely and voluntarily entering your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
I forgot to ask you, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
So nothing further from the state?
Judge, the state would move to amend the information by waiving count number 1 and proceeding on count 2, which is already part of the original information, which is an obstruction of a highway.
Okay, we'll approve that. All right. And what are the recommendations?
Recommendation, Your Honor, is a $250 fine with court costs, 10 months deferred adjudication, the DWI education course, victim impact panel, a live at 25, and a TAP evaluation.
No community service.
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court will defer your adjudication for a period of 10 months. I mean, place you on probation for 10 months. All the conditions that were set out by the assistant DA are approved and incorporated. $250 fine, court costs. Did I miss anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Once again, I want to make clear to you that deferred is a wonderful opportunity, but if you don't complete your probation successfully, it could come back and bite you in the sense that the state could then move to try to get your adjudication. You get it adjudicated where you would have, in fact, a record on this charge. So it's important that you take this very seriously. It's a wonderful opportunity. And then if you complete it successfully, you have the opportunity to clean up your arrest record as well. So it's a wonderful opportunity, but you can't make light of it. You've got to take it very seriously.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else, Ms. Garcia?
No, Your Honor.
All
Your
right.
Honor, actually, yes. My client has went ahead and completed the victim impact panel and the DWI education course as well. So we'd ask that if she does provide the certificates of completion to probation, that be considered so she doesn't have to retake the classes again.
They'll be approved if she supplies the appropriate certificates for those classes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further from the defense.
All right. Anything else? All right. And so we don't have the probation officer. Does she have a number to call so that she can possibly meet with him or someone else tomorrow?
Is it the same one that she gave the other person? I wrote it down.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, good luck to you in school.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful field. I hope you complete it.
Me too.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, good luck to you. All right. Do we have any other, please?
Yes, Judge. Hi, this is Megan Enriquez. I'm here on Jose Silva, and we have a plea.
Okay. Let me pull that one up.
We should also have one on Araceli and Nieves, Judge.
Okay, I found Mr. Silvas. And you said there's one on Ms. Nieves?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know what page that one's on the docket?
Page 6. It's like 666631.
Because Mr. Silva was an add-on, right? So he's not really on the docket.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Silva, I'm looking at the documents you signed. You signed a discovery acknowledgement. Oh, that's, there must be another one.
No, yeah, the discovery acknowledgement was only signed by me, Judge.
Okay, all right, so then there's a consent to the plea by video conference. So you understand that you're agreeing to plead basically, is this platform Zoom or what platform is this?
Zoom, Judge.
Okay, on Zoom. Did you understand that, Mr. Silva?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you went over all these documents with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand everything, all the documents? You're satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you think your attorney did a very good job?
Yes, very good job.
No complaints?
No complaints.
Okay, so I see here he's going to plead guilty to the obstruction of a highway, Class B misdemeanor.
That's correct, Judge.
Mr. Silva, I need to probably swear you in at this time. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm gonna ask you some questions about yourself and about the documents you signed. How old are you, sir?
I'm 42 years old.
And up to what grade did you get in school?
I did 3 years in college,
Oh, where'd you go to college?
Palo Alto.
Oh, that's a pretty campus.
Yes.
What did you study there?
I did my ASC certifications for mechanic, auto electric, and suspension.
Is that what you're working in now?
Yes. Yes, Your
Oh,
Honor.
well, that's a very good career as I understand it. You enjoy it?
Yes, very much.
Good. All right. So you understand that by signing the documents, you gave up certain rights, a trial by jury, a right to cross-examine the witnesses, and a right to remain silent. So basically, you're admitting that you committed the offense and you're not fighting it. Did that's what you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you're indicating that you're mentally competent. So nobody's ever questioned whether or not you're sane. You understand what you're doing.
Yes.
And you want to enter this plea and it's freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
Okay. And are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
You understand that because this is a plea bargain case, you're not going to have the right to appeal. Do you understand
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
What you want to do. Okay. All right. What is the plea bargain?
Yes, Your Honor, this is like the other case. The state would move to amend and alter the information by adding an additional count of an obstruction of a highway, waiving and abandoning count 1 and proceeding solely on count 2.
No objection, Judge. That's our understanding.
It will be granted. And
The
what else?
recommend- Sorry,
Okay.
Judge.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. I apologize. The recommendation, Your Honor, is a $600 fine with court costs, 10 months deferred adjudication, 48 hours of community service, the DWI education course, DIP, an ATP eval, and ignition interlock for half the term.
Is that what you understand the plea bargain to be?
Yes, Judge. One question for the court. Can he have permission to buy out of his community service hours with a donation to the food bank?
Well, we will address that after we take his plea.
Okay.
Do you want the information read, Mr. Silva?
We will waive a reading, Judge.
Okay. So to count 1, you are not going to respond because the state is abandoning count 1, which is the DWI, as I understand it. And because I don't have the information in front of me. And then the information was amended to add a second count, and that's obstruction of a highway, and that's charged as a Class B misdemeanor. Did you understand that, Mr. Silva?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Silva, you're not of the famous Silvas from Laredo, are you?
Well, I am born in Laredo, Texas.
But you're not, are you part of the mind control Silvas?
No.
Oh, okay. It's an amazing family. They have an international following and worldwide seminars. And so I was just wondering. So you are charged now with a Class B misdemeanor of obstruction of a highway. It carries a range of punishment of $0 to $2,000 fine and up to 180 days in jail. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nobody's forced you or coerced you in any way to enter your plea?
No, Your Honor.
And you understand you're giving up your right to a trial by jury I'm going to hear the case instead. Is that what you want?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're also giving up your right to cross-examine witnesses. So, no, and your right to remain silent. So you're basically kind of, throwing up your arms and saying, yeah, I did it. You understand that? Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
So are you freely and voluntarily entering your plea?
Yes.
All right. The court will accept the recommendation. We're going to defer your adjudication, place you on probation for 10 months, $600 fine plus court costs, 48 hours of community service. Are you vaccinated?
Yes.
So for your first vaccination, you get 8 hours of community service. Show proof of a second vaccination, that's another 8. And if you're boosted, that's another 8. So up to 24 hours of community service. So that cuts it in half. And I believe, was it $7.25 was the buyout? Okay, thank you for helping me out with that, Ms. Enriquez. Okay, so you can buy out your community service if you want to, and then that would be to the food bank.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And all other conditions that were read out by the Assistant District Attorney will be imposed. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Did you write down the number to call tomorrow to see about meeting with the probation officer?
No, not yet.
Can we call out that number again?
Yes, he can call 210-335-2008, and they will give him the Zoom link and he can join us and we can put him in a breakout room with the probation officer.
All right, what time?
We start at 10 o'clock, so anytime after 10 o'clock is fine.
All righty.
Okay. Are there any more, please?
Thank you, Judge. May Mr. Silva and I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good, lovely
Your
evening.
Honor.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one more plea left.
Sanchez.
You're very welcome.
Okay, and which one was that one?
Araceli Nieves, cause number 666631.
Okay, found it. Is it spelled Erecelia? Erecelia?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Erecelia, that's correct, Erecelia.
Erecelia Nieves.
Nieves, yes.
Nieves, okay. All right, raise your right hand.
Yes, ma'am.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. You can put your hand down. I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and about the documents you signed, and then we'll take the plea. Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How old are you?
I'll be 62 on February the 11th.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Right. So up to what grade did you get in school?
I have a bachelor's in business administration and accounting.
Oh, really? And are you
Yes.
using that degree in accounting?
Well, I got laid off in December, and I applied at UTSA San Antonio for their accounting department, and I start on February the 14th.
That's wonderful. So which
Yes.
campus? Do they have two campuses as well?
Well, it's gonna be a work from home position.
Oh, even better.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to fight all the highways.
Traffic, yeah.
That's
And then
wonderful.
plus my car kind of like broke down. It's leaking oil. So I won't have to, drive that now since I didn't have a job and wasn't earning any money. And it took a little while for unemployment to, pay me because my old job, the lady, I guess, didn't get the, letters on time for them to approve my, I just barely got my first check last Friday after a month. After
Well, thank
on
God
the
for that.
18th was when on the 18th was when I was laid off. Yeah.
Okay. So did you have an opportunity to talk to your attorney about everything, about the facts in the case and about the
He
plea
sent
bargain?
me paperwork to sign just today.
All right.
And he
So-
had mentioned earlier, a little bit of what would happen as far as like you've been, kind of saying everybody 12 months deferred adjudication, $400 fine is what he said. 48 hours community service. And I have completed my DWI and the victim impact panel. I've already done that. And I submitted copies to him, but I didn't know where else to submit another copy to.
Well, I'm sure once you get that, I hope you wrote down that phone number. If not, Miss Castillo
No.
will give it out again at the end.
Okay.
So make sure you have a piece of paper and a pen so
Yes, I
that
do.
go ahead and get that taken care of tomorrow. And get on with the program before you start work. All right. So what is the plea bargain?
Well,
No, I'm not asking you. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask, but listen very carefully because I'm going to ask you if that's what you understand the plea bargain to be. So, Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, Judge. The agreement is a $500 fine with court costs. The state has agreed to probate $350 of that fine. 12 months deferred adjudication. 48 hours of community service. The DWI education course. Victim impact panel. An ATP eval. Ignition interlock for half the term. And a $50 Crime Stoppers fee.
All right. And is she pleading guilty to DWI?
Yes.
It was on the paperwork, Judge.
But the recommendation is that it be deferred for 12 months.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm unaware of the defendant's plea, though.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Nieves, you consented to have us take your plea by video conference on Zoom?
Yes.
All right. And you're going to plead no contest to a DWI?
Yes.
And you understand that that DWI carries a range of punishment of $0 to $2,000 fine and 72 hours or up to 180 days in jail. That's the full range of punishment.
Yes, but I hope not, because since I'm going to be starting a new job, they'll probably fire me if I miss 72 hours.
All right. And so you understand that you're giving up your right to a trial by jury. I'm going to hear the case instead. Is that what you want?
Yes, ma'am.
You're waiving your right to have your attorney cross-examine any witnesses. So you're basically kind of, throwing your hands up and saying, yeah, I did it. Don't worry about it. You don't have to.
Unfortunately, ma'am, it should have not happened, but it did. And I'm embarrassed about it because I have been the church example and the grandkids examples and my own children's examples. And it just too many things were going on, and I'm not trying to excuse myself for it, but it's been a hard time for me. I had a stroke that almost killed me and have become disabled to my right hand. And I'm just blessed that I did get hired because I'm not, a 10 key operator like an accountant should be. But I stay steady on my job, and everything that I do, I try to be the best. And so, I mean, I'm just overwhelmed by this, that it should not have happened on this. And I'm about to be a grandma, and so it's just overwhelming right now for me.
Okay.
And
And
then
you're also giving up your right to remain silent because you're basically admitting that you committed the offense. Did you understand that? And is that what you want to do?
well, yes, I have no way out of it. I was drinking. Yes, I was.
You brought up the fact that you had a stroke. So are you mentally competent? Do you understand what you're doing? And is this what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And nobody's forced you or coerced you in any way?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay. And you're going to plead guilty to the charge because you are guilty and for no other reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So at this point in time, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty or no contest?
Well, and the paper on top, it said no guilty. And then at the bottom, it said no contest. It was already written in there. So.
Yeah, so that's why I'm a little confused myself. So is she?
I think I am too.
Or no contest? What is the plea bargain? No contest. Okay, so basically you're going to say there's no contest. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but can I still ask questions?
Absolutely. I'm just
Okay.
asking whether you're entering a plea of no contest or guilty. And your case is-
Non-contest.
okay. All right. So I basically kind of take that as an admission. So you have any questions about that?
Well, I had a question. Are you going to go over the plea again? Because I had a question about the first item.
What first item?
The actual fine. Was that the actual fine? Where she said they were going to do something with $350 from.
They're probating it, Ms. Nieves. So you don't, yeah, as long as you continue and complete probation, you won't have to pay that part.
Okay, so then what is the fine?
$150.
$150. Okay, and then the 350 is waived if I do what?
If you complete your probation successfully.
Within the 12 months.
Yes.
Okay, can I ask if it's my first time with all this? I've been hearing you've been giving them 10 months instead of 12. What's the difference?
I didn't negotiate the plea bargain. I just accepted it. So the plea bargain for those was negotiated. I assume that there's circumstances. Sometimes they look at, how intoxicated somebody might have been. And in addition, some of them, the plea was negotiated to a different offense. So there's a lot of circumstances that were. If you're not satisfied with this plea bargain, we can reset this if you have some questions.
No, that's fine. I was just wondering why the difference, since I was just like a first time, on this particular case, and my first and last, I promise that.
Well, I'm sure that your attorney and the state's attorney sat down and they looked at a number of factors. Perhaps your age might have been a factor. Perhaps they figured that maybe a 62-year-old almost grandma is treated a little differently from a 20-year-old A&M student. Perhaps that's one of the reasons, but you are pleading guilty to a DWI, whereas some of the other pleas were for less misdemeanors.
Okay, yes, ma'am, that's fine, no problem. I was just wondering.
And I'm just trying, and again, if you don't feel comfortable pleading right now, we can reset it.
No, I feel okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So then are you pleading guilt? I mean, no contest. I'm basically going to take that as an admission. Are you pleading no contest because you've discussed it with your attorney and you think that this is the best thing to do?
Yes, ma'am.
So basically you're not fighting the charge?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And there's an application for deferred adjudication. And I've been telling everybody that that's wonderful because if you complete probation successfully, then you can apply to have your record cleaned up.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you don't, then there's kind of like a, they can come back and say, let's adjudicate this, and then you would have a conviction. So it's very important to pay attention to all the details and make sure that you comply with your probationary.
Okay, so the only other is that ATP, where would I go to do that?
Well, we don't have the probation officer on board right now, but tomorrow
Oh.
you can sit down and they'll tell you all that information. I'm
Okay.
I'm basically kind of like a substitute judge today, and I'm not from San Antonio, and I will guarantee you that it doesn't matter. Every single county does everything differently. So it's a little bit of a learning curve on everything. And it's completely understandable that all these programs are a little bit overwhelming, but you will tackle one at a time and you will get through it. You've got, obviously you're a very smart woman. You've got a degree in accounting. And you understand that this is kind of a one-time thing, and you're embarrassed. I know that, but you can get through it. So we will approve the plea bargain, place you on deferred adjudication. We're not going to adjudicate you right now. So we're going to defer it for a period of 12 months. There'll be a $500 fine. We'll follow the recommendation that it be probated, that $350 of it be probated. Court costs are also imposed, 48 hours of community service. Now, Ms. Nieves, are you vaccinated?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and so I'll give you 8 hours credit for your first vaccination, 8 hours credit for your second, and 8 hours for your booster.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's a total of 24. And then you can either buy out your other community service hours by making a contribution at the rate of $7.25 to the food bank, or you can actually, go, they probably have a list of many community service organizations that
For the remaining 24.
Exactly, and that's during that period of 12 months. Okay.
Okay, so I have a whole year to finish the 24 hours.
Exactly. And all the other conditions, all the different programs, those are I'm going to approve them. Ignition interlock is one of them.
Can that be cut to 3 months?
That's something that you can talk to your probation officer about. Right now, I don't know. I don't remember hearing the amount of time that Ms. Sanchez recited.
Half the time, Judge, 6 months.
6 months. Okay, so seeing how you're doing on probation, perhaps, there's a good reason that could be presented to Judge Saldaña, and she might give that favorable consideration. But right now I'm going to follow the plea bargain. I'm sure it was carefully, thought out. And if you're doing well, perhaps then they can ask for an early release from that condition.
Okay, so then my question was, since I'm going to be working from home, not really driving, would that make a difference? No?
I think there's a possibility that you could speak to your probation officer, and you'd have to sign an affidavit that you're not driving at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, if you decide you want to go to church on Sunday and you're driving, then that would be, or you go to HEB, so if you sign that affidavit and they catch you driving, then that means you're not complying with your conditions of probation.
Okay.
And that could mean they would file a motion to adjudicate you, and then you would have a record. So it has to be
now
you have to take
that's
very
fine.
seriously. Yeah.
But
And
my other question
I'm just trying to be very clear about it. You do not
Yes,
want, deferred adjudication is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And
Okay.
your attorney did a great job getting you that. So don't blow it. Is basically
No,
what
no. No, the only other
You've also got
question
you've got a very good job that you're starting with a very good organization, and you don't want to
Yes,
blow
ma'am.
that either.
No, and then also I only get paid once a month. So how is all of this gonna fit into that? Will y'all make that?
That's what you're gonna work out with your probation officer.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on this matter?
Okay, so are they gonna call me, text
No.
me, email me?
You're gonna call them.
Okay, so what was the number?
Ms. Castillo? Ms. Castillo?
Yes, sorry, I was muted. So Ms. Nieves, if you could call tomorrow at 210-335-2008, and they will give you the Zoom link and you can join us, and we'll put you in a breakout room with the probation officer so they can give you more information.
Okay, and what time would this Zoom meeting be?
We start at 10 o'clock, so you can join us at 10.
Okay, 10 a.m. And so tomorrow I call before 10 o'clock so that they can give me the Zoom information?
Yes, please.
Okay, all righty, thank you. And that's Miss Salinas? Your name is Miss Salinas?
No, Judge Salinas Ender is a judge. My name is Aleida Castillo, but you will be calling the clerk's office, okay?
Okay, so the
So
judge
you,
is
you will
Miss
not be
Salinas.
asking, you will not be asking for either one of us. You'll be asking to speak to somebody in the clerk's office about the link, because it changes. And they'll give you the link to sign in on the Zoom conference. And then it's just going to be like right now. But hopefully we have the probation officer present that you can then visit with in a breakout room, separate and apart, privately, without everybody else hearing.
Oh, I see. Okay, got you. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Happy
You're welcome.
Valentine's Day.
Okay, well, good luck to you and good luck on
Thank
your
you.
job. And please take advantage of this wonderful opportunity to clean up your record.
Yes, ma'am, I sure will.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other, please?
I believe this is it, Your Honor.